Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS, presenting to you the daily quiz for 23rd of February 2022. Let us begin and have a look at the first question for today. Which of the following is or are correctly matched? Number 1, E-Mark, an e-governance solution for maintenance of rural roads constructed under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Number 2, Geospatial Rural Road Information System, a national level geographic presentation of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Number 3, Sadak, online geospatial transaction system for Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Number 4, National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, the nodal implementation agency for Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana scheme. Why this question? This article in the PIB today has a reference to the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana and its massive role in the development of rural parts of India, and hence we've taken this question. We all know that this scheme is a nationwide plan in India to provide good all-weather road connectivity to unconnected villages. And it was launched as a part of a poverty reduction strategy. We know that this is a centrally sponsored scheme. Now, what is the nodal agency for implementation of this scheme? NRIDA, or the National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, is the nodal agency for implementation of this scheme. Now when we come back and look at the pairs here, pair number 4, that is National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, being the nodal implementation agency of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, would be correct. This NRIDA has made use of certain IT assets for the execution of this scheme and for maintenance as well as for complaint redressal. Now let us take a look at these one by one. The first one is E-Mark. E-Mark, or Electronic Maintenance of Rural Roads, is an enterprise e-governance initiative for the maintenance of rural roads that are constructed under this particular scheme. This e-governance solution has a standardized system to manage and monitor the roads that are built under the scheme. So this is also correct. Another piece of information you should remember here is that this e-mark was developed by National Informatics Center, which is under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Now coming to Geospatial Rural Road Information System, or GRRIS. This is another IT asset that generates dynamic geospatial outputs using the live national level management information system database. To simply put it, it presents a national level geographic presentation of the infrastructure that is built under this particular scheme. So one can visualize the rural roads that are being constructed or improved under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So this is also correct. It is a geographic presentation of the roads that are built under the scheme. Now coming to Sadak. Sadak is an online geospatial transaction system of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So what does this do? This particular system enables collating, managing and editing the online spatial data quality report and as well as serving geospatial data in real time. So this is also correct, and with this we've arrived at our answer, which is option D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Moving on to question number 2. Which of the following statements best describes Mission Vatsalya? Option A, an umbrella scheme for child welfare services and child protection services all over India. Option B, an umbrella scheme covering schemes for empowerment and protection of women across India. Option C, an umbrella scheme for nutritional development of children. Option D, an umbrella scheme covering comprehensive measures aimed at reducing neonatal mortality and maternal mortality. Why this question? This article in the Hindu newspaper today talks about the budgetary allocation for child welfare schemes, and this particular article has a reference to Mission Vatsalya. And this article says that the budgetary allocation for Mission Vatsalya has increased by 390% since the year 2014. So what exactly is this Mission Vatsalya? See, Mission Vatsalya looks into child welfare services and child protection services all across India. Mission Vatsalya also includes the scheme for child protection services, which is a centrally sponsored scheme. So the right answer to our question would be option A. The task for you for today is to let me know what is the name of the umbrella scheme covering schemes for empowerment and protection of women across India. Drop your answers in the comment section. Moving on to question number 3. Consider the following statements. Number 1. Original constitution did not contain any provisions related to fundamental duties. Number 2. All the fundamental duties were added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment Act to the Constitution based on the recommendations of Swaran Singh Committee. Number 3, Swaran Singh Committee suggested penal provisions for not adhering to fundamental duties. Number 4, both fundamental rights and fundamental duties are not applicable to non-citizen residents in India. Which of the given statements is or are incorrect? What is the context? There is an article in the Indian Express newspaper today that talks about the fundamental duties, and hence we've taken up this question. Fundamental duties, as we all know, are moral obligations, or as the name suggests, duties of all the citizens of India to help promote the welfare of the country and also to uphold the unity. Right? Article 51A of the Indian Constitution describes 11 fundamental duties. Let us discuss more about fundamental duties as we discuss the answer to our question. When were these 11 fundamental duties added to the Constitution? See, initially, the original Constitution did not contain any provisions that were related to fundamental duties. So, number 1 becomes correct. These fundamental duties were added through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and this was as per the recommendations of Sardar Swaran Singh Committee. But were all 11 fundamental duties added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment Act? No. The 11th fundamental duty was added in the year 2002 by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. So statement number 2 becomes incorrect. Now, Sardar Swaran Singh Committee made recommendations and 10 fundamental duties were added to the Constitution through the 42nd Amendment Act, and another one was added through the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. So here one more question arises. Were all the recommendations of Sardar Swaran Singh Committee accepted? No. One such recommendation was penal provisions for not adhering to fundamental duties. Yes, this recommendation was made by Swaran Singh Committee, but it was not accepted. So now these fundamental duties are not enforceable by law. However, a court can take them into account while adjudicating on a matter. So this becomes correct. Now coming to the fourth statement. This statement is incorrect because only fundamental duties do not extend to foreigners or non-citizen residents in India. But fundamental rights are applicable to them as well. Therefore, this becomes incorrect. So the right answer to our question would be option B, 2 and 4 only, because the question is asking us for incorrect statements. Moving on to question number 4. Which of the given statements is or are correct with respect to National Means-cum-Merit Scholarship Scheme? Number 1. 1 lakh fresh scholarships are awarded to selected students of class 9 every year for study in state government, government-aided, local body and private schools under the scheme. Number 2. Complete funds under the scheme are provided by the central government only. Number 3. The scholarships are dispersed to the students directly by electronic transfer into their bank account under the direct benefit transfer. What is the context? This article in the PIB today has a reference to the National Means-cum-Merit Scholarship Scheme, and the government has approved its continuation for a period of 5 years, that is financial year 2021-22 to financial year 2025-26. Also, some modifications have been made in the eligibility criteria. Now let us discuss about this scheme as we discuss the options. Say this particular scheme, that is the National Means-cum-Merit Scholarship Scheme, was launched to avoid school dropouts after class 8, that is to provide financial assistance through scholarships. Under this particular scheme, 1 lakh fresh scholarships of rupees 12,000 per annum per student are awarded to selected students of class 9. Also, scholarships are provided for their continuation in classes 10 and 12 for study in state government, government-aided and local body schools only. Private schools are not covered under this scheme, therefore statement number 1 becomes incorrect. So, how are the students selected for scholarship? The students are selected for scholarship through an exam that is conducted by the state or the union territory government, and the selected students get scholarships dispersed directly to their bank accounts, and this is done through the direct benefit transfer mode. Therefore, statement number 3 becomes correct. Now, please take note that 100% of funds under this scheme are provided by the central government. So, statement number 2 also becomes correct. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option C, 2 and 3 only. See, this scholarship is provided to meritorious students of economically weaker sections. And one small modification has been made in the eligibility criteria now. That is, the income ceiling for eligibility of a student to apply for this scholarship has been raised to 3.5 lakhs per annum from rupees 1.5 lakh per annum. So this is aimed at encouraging the students to continue their education also at the secondary stage, that is post class 8. Now let us take up a previous year question from Prelims paper 2016. SWAYAM, an initiative of the Government of India, aims at option A, promoting the self-help groups in rural areas. Option B, providing financial and technical assistance to young startup entrepreneurs. Option C, promoting the education and health of adolescent girls. Option D, providing affordable and quality education to the citizens for free. See, SWAYAM is an information technology platform that hosts MOOCs. MOOCs are nothing but massive open online courses. So SWAYAM provides high quality education on various different subjects from school level, that is class 9 to class 12, to undergraduate and postgraduate students as well. And the courses on this platform covers all the disciplines. Therefore, the most appropriate answer to our question would be option D. Now let us take up the fact of the day for today, which is PM MITRA Scheme. We have taken up this scheme for discussion as there is a reference to this scheme in today's PIB article. See, PM MITRA stands for Prime Minister Mega Integrated Textile Regions and Apparel Parks. And this was announced as a part of the Union Budget 2021 and 22. See, the government came up with the idea of establishment of these mega integrated textile regions as well as apparel parks in order to boost Indian textiles at grassroots level. So these textile regions and apparel parks could create a conducive ecosystem for the entire textile industry, and also that the domestic workers could improve and start exporting their textiles. So the main aim of the scheme is to realize the vision of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat by creating a mark for India strongly on the global textile map. So what are the benefits expected from this scheme? It is expected to create direct as well as indirect employment. It is aimed at improving the quality and quantity of textile exports from India. And also it will offer an opportunity to create an integrated textiles value chain. So how is this scheme implemented? The PM MITRA Park will be developed by a special purpose vehicle which will be owned by the central as well as the state government and in a public-private partnership mode. And each of this MITRA Park will have an incubation center, a common processing house and a common effluent treatment plant and other textile related facilities such as design centers as well as testing centers. Also note that under this scheme, the center will provide development capital support for the development of common infrastructure of rupees 500 crore for each greenfield Mitra Park and up to rupees 200 crore for each brownfield park. If we are to talk about the beneficiaries of this scheme, the entire textile industry will be the beneficiary of this scheme. And this particular scheme is inspired by the 5F vision of the Prime Minister, that is farm to fiber, to factory, to fashion and to foreign. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching and keep learning.